Joining me right now is Pennsylvania Congressman, Foreign Affairs Committee member, and Small Business Committee member Dan Meuser. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. Your reaction to that summit?
Well, we do know that he informed CNN that what the hell, he's not confident in anything. No, hey, let's remove some politics from this, and let's take the politics out and look at who got what, right? In the end, Putin got a 5-year extension on START with receiving nothing in return, no retribution whatsoever on cyber attacks. In fact, he said he knew nothing about them, no real big ask there or commitment. He actually did receive from President Biden a list of 16 of our most critical assets. So meanwhile, Vladimir Putin knows nothing about the cyber attacks or where they came from, but hey, I'll take that list of 16 of your most critical assets and see what I can do. I mean, you almost can't make this up. We received no retribution whatsoever for the, again, the attack on Colonial. They got a Nord Stream pipeline, and Putin got the world stage to show off himself. Okay, in return, we received being told it's none of our business when it comes to the Ukraine, right, and an agreement to talk further down the line. So again, removing politics from this, I don't see many successes here, no matter how hard I try.
You know, I don't understand why Biden would list 16 critical areas that are not to be hacked, as if Putin is just going to follow Biden's rules. Oh, okay, I'll make sure those critical areas are not hacked. I mean, you just gave away the priorities and what's most important to America to an adversary.
It's unbelievable. Think of that in a military sense. I look at it in a business sense. If an opponent took one of your best people and then you gave him a list and said, okay, but if you take any of these 16, I'm going to be really mad. It's mind-boggling.
So naive. Right. It really is.
It is.
Look, I agree. I don't think much got done. We know that President Biden already has given Vladimir Putin a huge win before even walking into that summit by taking away any sanctions on the company that's overseeing the Nord Stream pipeline. Meanwhile, he canceled the XL pipeline here in the U.S. So how would you characterize President Biden's foreign policy so far in this first 6 months of his term?
Well, absolutely weak. I mean, going in, it's a showmanship initiative. Some have called it a surrender policy. Well, I won't go that far. Look, I do think that their interests are in the U.S., but they're not taking things seriously. You know, at the G7, what'd they try to pass? This global 15% tax, which is a feel-good thing that's not going to raise much. And how are they going to enforce it? Through some sort of global IRS? I mean, at least the NATO did do a condemnation on the atrocities coming out of China, but outside of that, there was really no substance to it. And I'm afraid our allies, you know, our allies seem to be the type of friend you have when you're loaning them money and buying them everything. But as soon as you stop doing that, then they have a problem with you. Well, it seems like the good old martyr state, United States, is back. But look, we got some really serious issues going on in the world. We've got the China threats. We've got Russia having its way. We do need to work with our allies, and we need to look after America's interests. That's what it comes down to. We got to look after America's interests.
Well, that's what Texas Governor Greg Abbott is doing. Former President Trump told us yesterday that he will go to the border at the governor's invitation, and he will go at the end of this month, even as Vice President Kamala Harris receives backlash for still not making this trip. I mean, Congressman, can she be shamed anymore into going to the border? And yet she won't go. She still hasn't given us any plans. You were at the border back in April. I was at the border a couple of weeks ago. I can assess what I think Governor Abbott is going to show President Trump, because Governor Abbott took me up in a helicopter, Black Hawk helicopter, to show us the border and what has become a common sights right now. Groups of 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 people walking on the road alongside the Rio Grande and moving into the interior of our country, most of whom are getting apprehended and being given legal status until they can see a judge. We're talking about 5,000 people a day.
It's
5,000 people a day, 180,000 people apprehended in the month of May alone.
Yeah. That's more people in any of my counties that I represent. I've seen your videos at the border. Mine are the same. Any Republican or Democrat goes to the border, they can receive the same feedback from Customs and Border Patrol. Bring back the Remain in Mexico asylum. That's the top of the list. There's about 3 things to do. If Kamala Harris or Joe Biden went, that's what they would hear. And so do it. Yesterday in a hearing, I asked the new UN ambassador, why isn't the Biden administration considering a Remain in Mexico a policy, returning to that, and she said that was not off the table, that it is being considered. So that will correct a lot of this if, in fact, they actually don't just try to reverse what President Trump has done, but accentuate the positives and go from there.
Yep, absolutely. Congressman, we'll keep following all of that. Thanks so much. It's good to see you this morning, sir.
You too. Thanks very much.